Welcome to Bourbon School, it's Brian today, and I'm going to be flying solo to talk about store picks. You know we love them here. And today I'm going to give you my list of 6 store picks that I always buy. Coming up next. All right, so let's talk store picks. First of all, if you're not familiar with what a store pick is, it's simply just a barrel of bourbon that a store picked to sell in their shop. So sometimes you go do a tasting at the distillery. Sometimes a distillery or a distributor will send samples to your store, and we've been lucky enough to participate in a lot of those for a few stores around the area. And basically, if you pick one of those samples, the distillery will then bottle that bourbon just for you in your store. And a lot of times you'll get a little tag with your store's name or a sticker. And it's fun sometimes to make tater stickers. We actually have a real fun tater sticker that Brian Fisher made from Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiast that's coming up on our 1911 pick at Midnight Liquors, which should be out in about a week or so. But store picks are fun because you're never going to get that bourbon again. It's a single barrel and it just went to one place. And once that store is sold out, it's gone. So if you find a store pick that you really, really like, definitely grab it and stock up on it. So what I thought I'd do today is talk about some bottles, some brands of store picks that I will always buy, no matter what. Now, it always is nice when you go to a store that has samples. We've got a couple of shops in our area where their store picks, they will let you sample them before you buy them. And that's, I love that, it's great. But sometimes I just know, oh, this is going to be a good pick because I know the bourbon and I know that I like the profile or I like the distillery and it's just a favorite of mine. So there are some store picks that even if I can sample it, it's a pretty good bet I'm going to grab at least one of them. So let's start with my first. This one's an easy one, Knob Creek. And what you're going to notice about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of these is that the bottles are empty. And that's because I really favor my store picks, and Marie Ann does as well. So when we go for a pour, a lot of times it's one of these bottles. But Knob Creek, I think the Knob Creek single barrel selects are exceptional. I have not had a bad one. I actually like the single barrel reserves as well. Those are the ones that come from right from Knob Creek, but the ones with this gold label are really good. They usually run around $55 to $60, so a little bit more than getting a standard Knob Creek 9, but it's also 120 proof, and like we said, it's a single barrel. Knob Creek single barrels on my shelf all the time. Actually, looks like I need to go get one. Okay, next on the list is a Rebel cast strength. And actually, I would also say an Ezra Brooks cast strength pick as well. I've had a couple of each, and all of them have been really good. They're usually retail around $50. They're probably my favorite Lux Row products that I've had. I'm not always a huge fan of Lux Row. If you saw our Rebel 10-year review, you'll know we weren't crazy about it. It was fine, but we didn't really fawn over it. But these ones at 120 proof, store picks, and like I said, you can get the Ezra Brooks, which is the standard bourbon, and then the Rebel, which is the wheated bourbon. These are great picks for a great price and a nice proof point, and so far haven't disappointed. I really like these ones. Okay, next on the list is a Maker's Mark. And Maker's Marks are so good. I like Maker's Mark at the over 100 proof level. I even like them higher than the Maker's 101. So a Maker's cast strength or a Maker's pick are really where it's at for me. And these are so diverse and different from each other in a lot of cases. They have these different profiles of finishes along here, and some of these finishes are just so good and so unique. I've had some that taste like chocolate s'mores. I've had some that taste like a campfire. I have some that you get a real rich fruity note off of, but I've never had one that I was disappointed in. And these go for somewhere between, I've seen them around me for $60 to $80 depending on where you go. Definitely a much better value at $60. I think the most I've paid for one is $70, but when I see these, as long as it's a fair price, I'm going to grab one because Maker's picks never disappoint. Okay, next on the list is an Elijah Craig pick. Now, this happens to be from a local shop, and this is just the 94 proof one, okay? I really like the private barrel proofs. Unfortunately, here in New York State, you can't get them. They only have the 94 proof selects here in New York State. But whenever I see them out on the road, I will grab one of those barrel proof picks any time. I have not had a bad one. I actually think that every one I've had a couple from Minnesota, I've had one from West Virginia, and every one that I've had so far has been better than any of the barrel proof A, B, or C batches, at least in the last 2 years, because that's when I started collecting them. They're delicious. They usually have a pretty good age statement, 10 to 12 years in some cases, and usually they are up in the 120s for proof. They're really a great value. You usually get them for about 70 bucks. So about the same as you can get an A, B, or C batch, but sometimes those A, B, and C batches, because they're so highly sought after, they kind of lean up towards the $100 mark in some cases. So the barrel proof Elijah Craig picks are excellent, but even the 94 proof picks are great as well. This was like 40 bucks, so a little more than a standard 94 proof Elijah Craig, but it really is a very nice flavor profile, has a little more oomph in it than your standard 94 proof Elijah Craig. So either way, they're great, but I really prefer the barrel proofs. Okay, number 5 on the list, and this probably will come as no surprise because you know the producer. Woodford Reserve Double Oaked picks. I love these. I have Woodford Reserve Double Oaked, you know we love. The picks are really, really good. And for a very long time, you couldn't get them around us. And now suddenly, and it seems this way with a lot of Brown-Forman stuff, including the Old Forester barrel strength picks, you're starting to see them a little more often. So I feel like the market might be loosening up on that a little bit. This one is from a store up south of Buffalo called Colonial Wine and Spirits. This is our second bottle of this one. It's exceptional. We've had one from another store that's south of us called Bag and String. Whenever I see a Woodford pick, I will always buy it. In most cases, it comes in maybe $5 to $10 more than a standard bottle of Woodford Double Oaked. But I will tell you, for that unique extra little oomph you get in a pick of Woodford Double Oak over the standard bottle, I would say it's 100% worth paying that extra bit. And this is one the producer's going to insist on it, that every time we see one, we've got to grab. Woodford Double Oak picks. Excellent, excellent buys. All right, last pick on the list, and this is another one that probably will not come as any surprise, but Old Forester single barrels. Now, I could put the Old Forester barrel strength in here as well. My only issue is these come in at a much, much higher price tag. These ones go from $80 to $100 around me, and they're also really hard to find. We've had a few stores get them in the last few months, and they go really quick. I do know there's one store up in Buffalo that does have one, that they have quite a few they're sitting on, and I think it's about $90. And that's fine. I've got a few of them, and I have paid that $90 price tag for them, and they're excellent. But I will tell you that these Black Label single barrel 100 proofers are so, so good. And these are ones that we didn't see it all around here for a very long time. And now we had a bunch of stores. I actually think it's about 3 or 4 stores that all got in a pick of these. And I've gotten them at a few places. This one is from Elmo Wine and Liquor, which is one of our favorite stores up near Buffalo. And this was great. I also have another one from Premier. Actually, that one is sitting around. Oh, it's right here. So I do have one that's got actual whiskey in it. This one's from Premier, which was a group of stores up around Buffalo. They're a pretty big chain, and generally speaking, I don't go to them a lot, but they had an Old Forester 100 pick, so I had to go grab it. But these Old Forester single barrels, whether it's a blue label or a black label, are all exceptional, but I'm telling you, if I see a black label, I am buying it every single time. and you can bet it's going to be great whiskey. All right, guys, so there you have it. These are my picks for store picks that I buy every single time. They've never disappointed. They're usually a really good value, and if I see them, I snag them up. So what I want you guys to do is in the comments, let us know what your always buy store picks are. I'd love to know. Maybe there's some that I've never tried that maybe I need to go try. And please make sure you like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another episode of Bourbon School. And until next time, cheers, guys.